loonies are coming back.
Sorry, what was that you were saying, Ian?
Lockdown loonies have said they're coming back.
We had a last minute person coming in today. That was the lockdown loonies.
Well, were they not?
No, I think they've just forgotten to say.
Well, they hadn't. I think they missed the last couple.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, Causeway will not be able to join us. They can't get a team together tonight. Too many other things going on.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Bob's just getting sorted, so he'll be joining us shortly. He's on Facebook.
Good.
Plenty of time yet, anyway.
So Leslie, has someone filled you in and what happens?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so I do. Yeah.
Kelly did explain it.
Well, Ian will tell you more about it at some point.
I've just plugged myself in on the headphones.
Leslie, do you know how to change your name? To put airheads at the front of it.
Oh, what, my name?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
hang
don't
on.
have to.
I'll try
Look
and.
what Kenny's done and copy him.
If you click
It's
on
out there, Anna Chang, of course.
the three blue dots in the top right,
Yeah.
the bottom line, I think, is rename.
Or you can click on yourself as a participant. It works that way too.
Oh, does it? Right. No, no.
Is it meeting settings? No.
No.
No,
You-
hang on. Participants.
If you look at, that'll do.
Oh, participants, me. Yeah. Okay. Rename.
There you go.
Right. Okay. So it's air.
Yeah.
Airheads. Yeah. Hang on. Oh God.
Nothing like insulting yourself.
What, airheads? No. Airheads is the equivalent of eggheads. Leslie doesn't realise what she has to expect here as
Oh, yeah.
No,
wondrous
I
and
probably
great.
spelt it wrong, but hey.
Oh, that's right.
Is that all right?
You know,
We
So
still don't have Douglas yet.
Oh, ages yet, not 10 minutes.
yeah, well, he's an old hand. He'll come in at the last minute.
Are you WhatsApping together, Kenny and Leslie?
We will do. There's no point making the call until we're all here.
No. I was just checking. In case
Yeah.
I've got the group with the names,
Got
and
my
all I have
phone.
to do is click on group call.
I'm being
That's the theory,
entirely
anyway.
helpful and supportive of my team.
You just never know if it'll work, but we usually manage.
And then I just put myself on mute. Yeah.
Well, I'll put you. Oh, yes, basically
Yeah.
everybody will be on mute anyway. Right, how many have we done of this now? Is this number 26 or something?
Oh, I can't remember.
What is this? June? Yes, probably it's 26.
Not bad, is it?
Mm.
And
How
it's
many
the summer.
teams?
9 today. I was expecting a lot fewer. Almost said a lot less then. A lot fewer. But suddenly out of the woodwork, more people came. So, I mean, I think that's jolly good for the middle of summer. And Andy Murray's on the telly too, so it's enough to put us off.
Yes, the Wimbledon's on.
Yeah,
Andy Murray's playing.
Is he?
Yep. I went and turned him off just now. But I must take a little crafty look and see what's going on.
He wasn't doing too well.
No, yet he's playing Isner, the 6'10" American.
Yeah.
A what? Did you say a 6'10" American?
Oh, aye, John Isner, aye, 6'10".
Wow.
Supposed to be the hardest server in the world.
And comes down from such a high height.
As well,
That's-
yes.
Yeah, that's worse than my niece's in-laws. They're all in the high six, well, the middle sixes
Aye,
into the high sixes. They're Canadian.
aye.
Your parents were sort of reasonably tall, but not,
Aye,
you know.
no. There's a general trend towards being tall.
Yeah.
Especially certain places like the Netherlands, they're now extremely tall.
Julie Beattie Guildford, I don't know if you're talking to somebody else, but you're muted. We can't hear you, but that might be the intention.
Yeah.
That is the intention. We're just talking amongst ourselves at the moment.
Right. Okay.
I'll
It's just
mute
she was
myself
looking a
again.
bit frustrated.
We're just trying to get our heads around technology. Somebody's got a new laptop.
Oh dear, yes.
Oh, there's Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie's here tonight.
Air is also struggling for team members today.
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't describe
That's a bit of
Eddie
an
as being.
insult.
I didn't mean it like that, Eddie. I didn't mean it like that. we've got different new.
You might not, but I do.
I just realised
I
what
think what you
said.
mean is some of the normal routine.
Usual.
Okay,
Not normal,
okay, Eddie, do you know how to change your name?
After in the
To
first
add the word airheads.
Oh, no.
Clicking, there's waft your mouse over the window and there's 3 blue dots in the corner of the screen.
Yeah, got them. Yeah.
Click on it. There should be an option in there called rename.
Yeah. Okay.
I you just want to add airheads to the front of your name. Just
Yeah.
makes it easier for people to identify.
Yeah. Before or after my first name?
I would say before it seems to be the way we've gone.
Okay.
The way that Kenny's done it.
Just thinking, how are you, Linda, by the way?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you very much. But
Yes.
I had a negative LFD today, so I've been out and about.
Oh, jolly good.
she's been released from quarantine today.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I've got a blood test tomorrow to check to see if I actually have a natural immunity.
Oh, very good.
Oh,
That's
good.
what they don't know that's what I'm going to the blood test for, but because the nurse just said to me, she says, just book a blood test, and she says, and we'll find out.
Well,
Because
you
you
were
know,
not-
Rosie and I were in quite close proximity last Tuesday.
but you were not at the hotel. Did
I
Rosie?
wasn't. Yes, but she was already positive. She would have been positive by that time.
All right.
Oh,
And
My
it
goodness.
happened at New Year as well. My great nephew was positive on the 2nd of January. I was in his company on the 1st, and I still was negative.
Well-
And then after he tested positive, I actually got a PCR, and that was still negative. So
yeah.
Oh, we were keeping apart, Ian and I, but in most other circumstances where there was someone in the house with COVID, the rest of the members of the house got it. But Ian has somehow or other managed to escape.
Well,
I mean, I did go in the spare bedroom and for the whole time, and I
Yeah.
did live in the sun lounge, but and had the doors open. It's a good thing it's summer because I'm a great believer in ventilation. So I had all the doors open just about for an entire week.
yeah.
Although I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing that you didn't get it, because maybe you should have got it.
Yeah, well, my doors are open most of the day because
Oh.
the cat likes to sit in the open doorway.
Sorry, me. Sorry.
You just realised the spelling.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eddie.
What I miss?
One could call that a Freudian slip.
Definitely.
You can always change it again, Eddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Now that I know how to change it.
Somebody's at the races or the cricket. Cricket. David Mears.
There we go.
yes.
Yeah.
It does look a bit like the races, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've never been to cricket, but I have been to the races.
Oh,
Can I
lovely.
say?
Friends party. Yes.
Can I
Oh,
tell you?
yeah. Hamilton.
Tell you folks, I was actually on the radio today. Strabane FM, would you believe? But apparently it's an internet one, so it goes all over the world about. Guess what?
I have no idea whatsoever.
Anyway,
We
Any
still don't have Bob. Don't know what's up with him.
He's got 5 minutes. We're not all here yet. There's a good few people not here.
Yeah, but he said he was just getting started.
People are getting blasé but turning up at the last minute.
Yes. Who else have we got?
yeah.
There's Bob.
Yeah. Possibly during this, Kenny, you'll probably maybe be suggesting I change it back to AIR. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Once Douglas is here, I'll instigate the group call. It can be a bit manic, especially if everybody talks at once. But we usually manage to make some sort of communication out of it.
David Pierce, where is your background?
What?
Epsom, probably, if he's in Guildford.
No.
David, what's your background? David Pierce.
It's probably the Oval cricket.
The
ground.
Oval, all right.
I don't think it's the Oval either.
I've never been inside it.
Oh,
I
no,
passed
it's
it many,
Bristol
many a
cricket ground.
time when I lived in South London.
That's not the Oval.
No. David Pierce.
It's Bristol, apparently.
What's your cricket
Oh,
ground?
Bristol. Right.
Bristol.
Bristol. Bristol.
Gloucestershire County Cricket Club, the only one worth supporting, even though they're not doing terribly well this year.
Oh, did you say Yorkshire?
What? Who are they?
No, I asked, did you say Yorkshire?
Oh, Gloucestershire.
Oh, Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire.
Oh, I should have known by the accent.
Aye.
Hi, Alison.
Hello. We got caught up watching the tennis.
Oh, not surprised. I'm watching it online. Well, I'm not watching it.
I haven't had my telly on for days.
Were you watching the tennis this afternoon?
See Cameron, Johnny won.
Forgot about it.
Yes.
We put it on about 5 o'clock where you're wobbling and Emma.
Raducanu.
Yeah, got beaten.
I'll be amazed if Andy Murray wins. I know he's beaten that guy 7 out of 7, but that was a few years ago. And given he's the bionic man, and this guy's 7 foot, I think the chances are. And in his last match, he did 54 aces. I don't think there's a lot of hope. But we'll see.
That game that went
Andy,
over 100 each before one of them finally won.
Oh dear, there's somebody got an echo.
All right, I've got rid of it.
Hello, everybody.
I have.
Hi there.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Well, she said you got the day off.
I have the power, so I just mute anybody who make a noise.
Causeway solo. I like it.
What is that? Oh, solo. Is it just on your own?
Unmate Todd, no mates.
Oh, Johnny, no mates. What a shame.
I like lockdown Rooney's. Where are they from?
Causeway people are here, so the good news is it's remarkably easy to confer with my fellow contestant.
That's true. Yeah.
Even better.
There won't be much disagreement in that team.
No.
Nobody will know if I Google. But I promise.
He doesn't want to stay away, do you, Stuart?
I've got to sort the sun blinds out.
Last night at backgammon, we came last in bridge this afternoon, so I'm going for the hat trick of bottom place.
Right. Are you actually going to give me a score then?
I am, yes.
Oh, you're very brave.
You're a good lad.
Wonderful man. Right, the only person or team that's not here so far is Alana, I think.
Well, Douglas isn't here yet either.
Lockdown Looney's
No,
happy.
that's not Alana.
Oh no, it's Alison that's here.
Yeah. They're not the same U3A. One's
No.
East Renfrewshire and the other's Paisley. Next door. Is that right? Next door. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you actually know each other, Alison?
Yes.
Oh, good. That's all right then.
Well, I met Alana for the first time last week. Didn't meet you, Linda, sadly.
No, I know. Another
Very
time.
well.
Sorry,
we
what was that,
did-
Alison?
You were asking, did I know Alana? And I said, not very well.
Right.
But if we've got anything we need for the press, we always run it past her.
Come
And
on,
we did
go.
meet her when they did a tree planting ceremony.
Yeah, I think we were meaning actually in person though, rather than
Yeah, I've met her in person once.
met in person.
Once.
Can I ask
What do you look up for?
Alison whereabouts in East Renfrewshire are you?
Newton Mearns.
On Newton Mearns. I used to live in Barhead, so just down the road, you know.
Yeah. We hold a lot of meetings at St Andrew's Church, so we're there a lot.
Yeah.
Is that in Barhead?
Yes. They got a new,
Here she comes.
there was a new church hall built.
Adrian Lockhart, can you tell us what team you're with? Or could you rename yourself even?
Good. Oh, here she comes. Hi, Jan.
Hi.
Somebody's not.
We're on 2 pages, that's why I'm not getting everybody in.
No, you'll have to switch between them.
Hi, Alana.
They're all on one page for me.
Just you and your hubby tonight?
Yes, Ian's here. He's being lazy, sitting down as usual.
Yeah, I was meeting Alana actually.
Oh, sorry.
Alana, you're muted.
Hello, because I'm not
Hi.
talking to MJ.
Oh, you know it, right?
I'm sitting with a coffee.
Yeah, I've got one here as well.
Good.
We still don't know where Adrian's from.
Oh. Would anybody like
Where,
to?
where Lockton Rooney's are from?
No. We were wondering where Adrian Lockhart is from.
I've just sent a personal private message.
Maybe somebody could claim him. Who is he? Should he be here? I know he should, but I could find out actually.
I've just sent him a message.
I can find out anyway. He's locked down loonies.
Ah.
Right. "9:03, 7:03, 1903.
Who's going to cut the grass just when we've got important business going on here?
That's shocking. I have to go and close the door.
Had to tell them off.
What, somebody cutting their grass?
Yes, when we've got important work here.
Well, we can't hear them.
You wait till he gets cracking. He's got one of them really noisy petrol guzzling things.
Oh,
and
right.
his lawn is no bigger than ours. In fact, he's got less grass than I've got. But he used to be a green man or a greensman.
Greenkeeper.
Golf. Greenkeeper.
At least it's not Chris.
In fact,
There's a couple of those now.
You can get degrees in that now, you know.
Do you? I have no idea whether he I'll ask him. Chris, do you have
Yeah, my friend's next door neighbour went to, you know, he was a mature man and he went to university to study greenkeeping. I
Well,
can't
you can do
think,
it.
you know.
University, you can do everything nowadays.
Well, you can, can't you?
How are we missing anybody? Does anybody want to tell
Well, we're
us
still
that they-
waiting in Douglas, but
Oh, good point. I knew somebody was missing. Very peaceful without.
what's the saying? No show without punch.
Well, if he arrives, he can join you.
Well, hopefully we may have to play about with the WhatsApp call thing, because I'm just about to do it, and Douglas's phone will ring as well,
You've
wherever
got
he is.
Leslie and Eddie to back you up. You'll be
Yes,
fine.
absolutely.
I've just got a new team member here. A pussycat who's decided that she wants to have a game.
We hope.
Oh, mine's is somewhere in the house asleep. I don't even know where she is. She'll be sleeping.
I can mute and everything, so you can take over.
Okay.
in a sec.
Hello, Leslie.
How do I mute?
Right.
Hang on.
How do I mute?
What's the matter?
Someone's got to. Can you not hear it?
Yeah.
It's feedback. I got feedback on my phone.
It's all right. I've muted you. The power of muting.
Right. Well, we think everybody's here now, with the possible exception of Douglas Brown. So welcome everybody again, yet again. Glad to see so many of you back. We thought for a wee while we were going to have fewer teams this month, but you have rallied round as always. So I'll introduce the quiz. I'll have 6 rounds as always for you, and I'll share my screen, which means you'll see the PowerPoints. And I'm going to make one change to my normal pattern. It's something I learned last month that people quite liked, so I'm going to do that again. And that is, after each round, I'll then go back to the beginning of the questions for each round and just flick through them in silence so that people can discuss any they haven't got during the first round of questioning. That seemed to work quite well last month, so we'll do that again. So I'll now share my screen, get the slideshow from the beginning, and we shall begin with round 1. I keep finding other things to do around these islands. But this time it's venues around these islands, and I'm going to show you some photographs, and there'll be a question about each. However, I'm not, contrary to previous practice, telling you which of the Scotland, England, Ireland, or Wales some of these are in. I have done for some of them, but not for all of them. So question 1 is, what is the name of this theatre?
Somebody's not muted. Wait a minute, find out who it is.
Number 2, which sports stadium is this? There is a fairly obvious clue in the middle of it, never mind.
It's not Gloucestershire.
No, it's not. Number 3. In which city is this opera house located? Number 4. What is the most famous race that is run at this track? Obviously, if you recognise the track, you're likely to know the name of the race. But will you recognise the track? Number 5. The entrance of the Everyman Palace Theatre. Which Irish city? Number 6. Founded in 1933, which Scottish university is this theatre now part of? And I stress it's the theatre that was founded in 1933, not the university. Founded in 1933, which Scottish university is this theatre now part of? If you look closely, you can just about make out the name of the theatre. Just above the horizontal wooden. It might not be wooden for all I know.
Says the.
Yeah, but you can just about make out the second half.
Well, I can't.
Number 7. Destroyed in an arson attack in 1994, this pier pavilion was in which Welsh resort? Number 8. What non-theatrical event has been held here annually since 1977? Number 9. Celtic Park, but not in Glasgow. Where in Ireland is this one, in which you might see hurling or Gaelic football, as well as association football? And number 10, the largest indoor entertainment venue in Scotland with a capacity of 14,300 people. What is the name of this arena in Glasgow? Okay, I'll run back to the beginning and let you see them all again. Just a few seconds on each. Right, we'll go back to the beginning and I'll give you the answers, unless anyone wants me to delay it any further. Are we all ready for the answers? If I don't hear anything in the next few seconds, I'll give you them. Okay, here they come then. This theatre is the Globe Theatre in London. Number 2, if West of Edinburgh don't get this, they'll be ashamed of themselves. This is Murrayfield. Number 3, Opera House is the Welsh Opera House in Cardiff. The 4th one, Derby. This is Epsom Racecourse, and so the Derby is the answer to this one. Number 5, the Everyman Palace Theatre is in Cork. Number 6, you might just make out above, just to the right of the doorway there, above that sort of horizontal thing there, it says the Byre, and that is the Byre Theatre, St Andrews University it's part of. Number 7, this was in Llandudno. Number 8, given that that is the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, it's the World Snooker Championship that has been held there annually since 1977. This Celtic Park is in Derry / Londonderry. And finally, this is, given its sponsored name, the OVO Hydro in Glasgow. Hydro, of course, is what I'm looking for. So as usual, if you could all count up your scores and send them to Linda in the private chat.
Ian, just for information, number 9, the hill that's behind the stadium is the original Green Hill Far Away, because the hymn was written in Derry.
Was it indeed?
I did not know that.
That's a very useful piece of knowledge. Thank you, Stuart.
I sense a quiz question coming up later.
You do indeed, absolutely.
It was the Frances Alexander, who was the wife of clergyman in Derry.
Right. Thank you very much for that information. That's one that will be tucked away into the recesses of my mind. And it will resurface at some point, but maybe not when you're there. How are we doing the scores, Linda?
You got most of them. If not all of them. I think we must have them all.
You've got them all?
Yes, I have.
Right, in that case, we'll move on to round 2. Round 2 is Rhyme Time. The name of it is stolen from Richard Osman's House of Games, but not the actual type of questions. We have a poetry round for you here. So, as usual, I'm trying to mix up the subjects quite a lot, and this time it's poetry that takes the centre stage. Which book, published in 1871, did the rhyme Tweedledum and Tweedledee appear? And be careful. Which book, published in 1871, did the rhyme Tweedledum and Tweedledee appear? Number 2. The poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening contains these lines. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Which American poet wrote these lines in 1923? They were actually used in a film in the 1970s, where the poem was used as a trigger for Soviet sleepers in the West to start their activities. So which American poet wrote these lines in 1923? Number 3. Which kind of poem has types called Shakespearean and Petrarchan? Which kind of poem has types called Shakespearean and Petrarchan? Number 4. Tennyson's poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade, was about an action in which battle of the Crimean War? Stick to the most famous one and you'll be right. So Tennyson's poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade, was about an action in which battle of this Crimean War? Number 5. Poet wrote 2 poems called L'Allegro, or the Happy Man, and Il Penseroso, the Melancholy Man, in a collection published in 1645. Which poet wrote 2 poems called L'Allegro, or the Happy Man, and Il Penseroso, the Melancholy Man, in a collection published in 1645. I remember studying these in school, but I can't remember a thing about them. Number 6, the poem by Walt Whitman, which begins, "O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done, the ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won," was written about the death of which famous American? Okay, so Walt Whitman's poem, "O Captain, my Captain," was written about the death of which famous American? Number 7, "How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways," begins a poem by which female poet? "How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways," begins a poem by which female poet? Number 8. Well, that one began a poem. These lines end one. These lines finish which poem by John Keats? "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know." These lines finish which poem by John Keats? "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know." Number 9. The novel and film No Country for Old Men take their title from a poem called "Sailing to Byzantium," by which Irish poet? The novel and film No Country for Old Men take their title from a poem called "Sailing to Byzantium," by which Irish poet? And number 10, last in this round, haiku is a type of Japanese poetry in 3 lines with a total of how many syllables? I don't want to know how many in each line, just how many altogether. Haiku is a type of Japanese poetry in 3 lines with a total of how many syllables? Now I'll go back to the beginning of the round and just show you the questions again for a few seconds each. Okay. Unless anyone wants more time to think, I'll give you the answers. Let me know within the next few seconds, or I'll give you the answers. Okay, here they come. Tweedledum and Tweedledee first appeared in Through the Looking Glass. It wasn't Alice in Wonderland, it was a follow-up. Number 2, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, was written by Robert Frost, American poet. Number 3, the poem which has Shakespearean and Petrarchan forms is the sonnet. Number 4, the Child of the Light Brigade took part during the Battle of Balaclava. Number 5, the poet that wrote these, if you know anything about dates of poems 17th century, it's John Milton. Number 6, Walt Whitman's poem was about the death of Abraham Lincoln. Number 7, this How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways was written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Number 8, I studied this one in school as well, but I remember much more about it than I do about the Milton ones. This was Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Number 9, Sailing to Byzantium was written by W.B. Yeats. And there are 17 syllables in a Japanese haiku. The 3 lines go 5, 7, 5. Totals to Linda, please. Come on.
Yes, I've got more.
Right. Very good. We'll move on now. I keep a record of every round that I've ever had in one of these quizzes. And last September, I did one that got a very good reaction from people, so I'm repeating it. The name's the same. Not the same questions, obviously, but the same concept. And so here is question 1. What name links a knighted author of fantasy fiction and a chocolate making company originally from York? What name links a knighted author of fantasy fiction and a chocolate making company originally?
Ian, are you asking first names or surnames here?
I'm asking, there is only one word that will answer that question.
Okay, thank
you. Number 2. The surname of a member of the Carry On cast is also the name of the only permissible tie knot to be used by RAF personnel in dress uniform. What is it? The surname of a member of the Carry On cast is also the name of the only permissible tie knot to be used by RAF personnel in dress uniform. What is it? Number 3. An explorer travel writer and scholar, shared both forename and surname with a Welsh stage and screen actor. What was their shared name? And this time I do want both the forename and the surname. An explorer, travel writer and scholar, shared both forename and surname with a Welsh stage and screen actor. What was their shared name? Number 4. The battle, victory in which inspired Napoleon to commission the building of the Arc de Triomphe, shares its name with the birth name of a Hollywood actor who was light on his feet. What is the shared name? And in this case, it's just his surname at his at birth that I'm looking for, because it's the same as the name of the battle. The battle, victory in which inspired Napoleon to commission the building of the Arc de Triomphe, shares its name with the birth name of a Hollywood actor who was light on his feet. What is the shared name? Number 5. What surname of an 18th century religious leader matches the forenames of a young officer in a science fiction television series and of a Test cricket fast bowler from the 1960s? The religious leader's surname, the forenames of both the young officer and the fast bowler. Again, one-word answer. What surname of an 18th century religious leader matches the forenames of a young officer in a science fiction television series and of a Test cricket fast bowler from the 1960s? Number 6. What name is shared by a country in Africa and the Anglican priest who founded the Samaritans? One word again. In fact, all of the others are, apart from number 3, all of them are one-word answers. But what name is shared by a country in Africa and the Anglican priest who founded the Samaritans? Number 7. The stage name of a British singer whose birth name was Mary O'Brien was the same as the name of which capital city of a state of the USA? The stage name of a British singer whose birth name was Mary O'Brien was the same as the name of which capital city of a state of the USA? Number 8. Which name was the surname of a female novelist and the forename of a British Foreign Secretary and Chancellor of the Exchequer whose half-brother became Prime Minister? Let's read that one slowly. Which name was the surname of a female novelist and the forename of a man who served both as British Foreign Secretary and as Chancellor of the Exchequer, whose half-brother became Prime Minister? Number 9. What name was the forename of a 20th century American artist, the surname of a 19th century American general who was killed accidentally by one of his own troops? What name was the forename of a 20th century American artist and the surname of a 19th century American general who was killed accidentally by one of his own troops? And number 10, what name is shared by an actress with musically memorable eyes and an international sports trophy? What name is shared by an actress with musically memorable eyes and an international sports trophy? Okay, back to the beginning, and I'll let you see them all again. Before I give the answers, can you share the screen for the scores today? Okay, I'll go back to the beginning, but before I give the answers, I'm going to stop sharing the screen and ask Linda to share the scores after the first 2 rounds. West of Erin, what a start. 20 out of 20, well done. Airheads 15, Guildford and Kings Hill all 15, and Lockdown Loonies. Daggers 14. Everybody's got at least half marks, and most of the teams have got at least 70%, so that's a pretty good start. Well done. Thank you, Linda. Well, just make sure that your scores have been recorded correctly, but I'm sure they have been.
Doesn't follow. Getting old.
Right, I shall restart my share screen. What's going on? Oh, it's gone too far. Go back. Being silly on me. Right, there we are. Right, the name that links the knighted author and the chocolate making factory is, of course, Terry, Terry's of York, and Sir Terry Pratchett. The surname of the Carry On cast, which is the name of this tie, is Windsor, Windsor Knot, and Barbara Windsor. Number 3, the explorer, travel writer, and scholar from the 19th century had the same name as the Welsh stage and screen actor, Richard Burton. Number 4, the battle which inspired Napoleon to commission the building, coincidentally had the same name as the birth name of Fred Astaire, and he was born as Frederick Austerlitz, and the battle was the Battle of Austerlitz. Number 5, you can't think of the young officer in the science fiction series or the Test cricket fast bowler. Who's a famous 18th century religious leader? John Wesley. And it's Wesley is the answer. The science officer is Wesley Crusher from Star Trek, and the fast bowler is Wesley Hall from the West Indies. Number 6, the Anglican priest who founded the Samaritans was Chad Vara, and of course Chad is a country in Africa. Number 7, Mary O'Brien became better known as Dusty Springfield, and of course Springfield is the capital of Illinois. Number 8, again, if you don't know who the Foreign Secretary or Chancellor was, think of famous female novelists and you might come up with Jane Austen. And it's Austen Chamberlain who was the Foreign Secretary and Chancellor of the Exchequer, and his half-brother was Neville Chamberlain who became Prime Minister. So Austen is the answer here. Number 9, we have Jackson Pollock and Stonewall Jackson, linked by the name Jackson. Number 10, well, Betty Davis eyes, so it's Davis that's the answer. The Davis Cup being the international sports trophy. Again, could you send your scores to Linda, please? I hope you enjoyed that round. It was quite good fun making it up. Before I introduce you to the slightly challenging round, because I always have something, or usually have something kind of scientific, that's Linda's influence on me. And this month, we're on botany.
I've got an A level in that. It's my only A level.
Well, once you've got the scores in, let me know and I'll get started.
I'm just missing one. That'll come.
Okay. Then we'll start the botany round. Question 1. Name of which classification of plants whose seeds are not enclosed in a fruit is derived from Greek words meaning naked seeds? The name of which classification of plants whose seeds are not enclosed in a fruit is derived from Greek words meaning naked seeds. Number 2, what characteristic do the marsh pitcher plant, the butterwort, and members of the sundew genus have in common? So what characteristic do the marsh pitcher plant, the butterwort, and members of the sundew genus have in common? Is number 2. Number 3, which African tree is nicknamed the upside down tree? Because when its leaves fall off, the bare branches look like roots growing upwards. I'll give you one more wee clue. Its name is very nearly, but not quite, a palindrome. Which African tree is nicknamed the upside down tree because when its leaves fall, the bare branches look like roots growing upwards. Number 4, which part of a flower produces pollen? Which part of a flower produces pollen? Number 5, which flowers have types called moth, vanda, and dancing lady? Which flowers have types called moth, vanda, and dancing lady? Number 6, which sugar is formed along with oxygen in the photosynthesis process? Which sugar is formed along with oxygen in the photosynthesis process for number 6. Number 7, what is the common name of plants of the genus Erica? What is the common name of plants of the genus Erica? Number 8, what kind of tree is known in Australia as a gum tree? What kind of tree is known in Australia as a gum tree? Number 9, seeds of a plant called a dicotyledon contain 2, while those of a monocotyledon contain 1. What are they in embryonic form? The seeds of a plant called a dicotyledon contain 2, while those of a monocotyledon contain 1. What are they? And number 10, in what kind of environment are plants called xerophytes adapted to flourish? In what kind of environment are plants called xerophytes adapted to flourish? Okay, back to the beginning, and we'll let you see each one for a while. Okay, unless anyone wants more time to think of their answers, I'll give you the answers now. Anyone need more time? Okay, here we go then.
Ian, sorry, could we have number 9 again, please?
Of course.
Thanks. Thank you, Ian.
Okay, ready for the answers now, Jill?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Okay. Question 1, the answer is gymnosperms, the naked seeds. Number 2, these are carnivorous plants, basically eating insects. Number 3 is the baobab tree, B-A-O-B-A-B. Number 4, it is the stamen that produces pollen in a flower. Number 5, these are orchids. Number 6, the sugar that is formed is glucose. Number 7, Erica is heather. Number 8, you possibly could have guessed this one, it's a eucalypt. Number 9, seeds of a dicotyledon contain 2 leaves, and a monocotyledon contains only 1 leaf. And number 10, xerophytes are adapted to flourish in dry conditions. Once more, if you could send Linda your totals.
So, sorry, Ian, what was the answer to number 7?
Heather.
Heather, right.
Heather. Nearly ready, Linda?
Mhm. There's one left.
Just one left.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, by contrast then, that one I think possibly was a fairly challenging round. This one should be a little more familiar. Entertainers. So this time, entertainers of a wide variety of types. Number one, what was the name of the dummy associated with the act of the ventriloquist Ray Allen? What was the name of the dummy associated with the act of the ventriloquist Ray Allen? Number two, which artiste who performed between 1885 and 1920 became known as the Queen of the Music Hall, among her most famous songs being My Old Man Said Follow the Van? Which artiste who performed between 1885 and 1920 became known as the Queen of the Music Hall, among her most famous songs being My Old Man Said Follow the Van? Number three, which entertainer wrote an autobiography of his service in World War II in 7 volumes, the first of which was called Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall? Number three, which entertainer wrote an autobiography of his service in World War II in 7 volumes, the first of which was called Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall?
Ian, I hesitate to say this, but are you sure that's the title of his volume?
Well, it was in the various places I looked.
Okay, that's fine.
Number four, which comedian and actor who had her own sitcom from 2009 to 2014 won a National Television Award for Outstanding Drama Performance in 2013 for her role as Chummy in Call the Midwife? Which comedian and actor who had her own sitcom from 2009 to 2014 won a National Television Award for Outstanding Drama Performance in 2013 for her role as Chummy in Call the Midwife? Number five, which television game show, which originally ran from 1951 to 1963, had panel members including Gilbert Harding, the Magician, David Nixon, Barbara Kelly, and Isabel Barnett? And Douglas, just to let you know, Linda has just brought up a photograph of the first edition of the book that we were referring to, and the title was correct. So number five, which television game show, which originally ran from 1951 to 1963, had panel members including Gilbert Harding, the Magician David Nixon, Barbara Kelly, and Isabel Barnett? Number six, presidents of which famous dramatic club have included Sue Perkins of the Great British Bake Off, Hugh Laurie, and David Mitchell, among other famous theatricals? Presidents of which famous dramatic club have included Sue Perkins of the Great British Bake Off, Hugh Laurie, and David Mitchell? Number 7, whose catchphrase was, "I want to tell you a story"? Well, in fact, ironically, he didn't invent it. I'll explain why later. Whose catchphrase was, "I want to tell you a story"? Number 8, which pianist born in Trinidad, the only female pianist to have a UK #1 record and had her own television series? Which pianist born in Trinidad is the only female pianist to have a UK #1 record and had her own television series? Number 9, in which pantomime does the character Buttons appear? Which pantomime does the character Buttons appear? And number 10, who portrayed a range of characters including Nan Taylor, Lauren Cooper, and Geordie Georgie in her own comedy sketch show on BBC Two between 2004 and 2006? Who portrayed a range of characters including Nan Taylor, Lauren Cooper, and Geordie Georgie in her own comedy sketch show on BBC Two between 2004 and 2006. Okay, back to the beginning and I'll play them through again. Okay, before I give the answers, I'm again going to ask Linda to share with you the scores to date. So I shall now stop sharing and Linda will share. Well, West of Edinburgh are doing particularly well today. Now we've got the Daggers in Kings Hill in second equal, Guildford in fourth, Airhead is fifth, Dunelm sixth. But again, some pretty strong scoring here. Again, if you'd let Linda know if there have been any errors made in putting together your scores. Actually, I'm really impressed with the scores for round 4. I thought that was harder. Well done, 3 9s and an 8. Okay, I'll reshare my screen. Move this back to the side. And the answers. Question 1, Ray Allen's dummy was Lord Charles. Number 2, the artist who was Queen of the Music Hall was Mary Lloyd. Spike Milligan wrote Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall, and 6 more volumes of World War II memoirs. This was Miranda Hart who won that National Television Award, having had her own comedy show, her own sitcom. Number 5, What's My Line? Had these people in it originally, and various other people at different points. Number 6, it was the Cambridge Footlights Dramatic Club. Number 7, Max Bygrave's catchphrase was, I want to tell you a story, though he didn't invent it. It was invented actually when he was taken off by Mike Yarwood, and Mike Yarwood introduced the phrase, but Max Bygraves liked it so much he embedded it in his act and even called his autobiography, I Want to Tell You a Story. So it was Mike Yarwood that actually invented the phrase.
Ian, can I tell you a story?
Of course you can.
I have stood on Max Bygrave's foot.
You have what?
I stood on Max Bygrave's foot. He was appearing in the Alhambra in Glasgow. And one day I was looking in the window of Dixon's in Union Street, and I stepped back and I stood on Max Bygrave's foot.
And how did he react?
Remarkably civil. If I ever appear likely on Only Connect, that definitely is the unusual thing I will tell.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you very much, Stuart.
Stuart, I was at that show as well.
You were at that show as well, Douglas?
I wasn't.
You stand on his foot too?
I was at the show, but I failed to stand on his foot.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That would have been a better story to tell. Okay. Number 8, this was Winifred Atwell, who was the pianist. Number 9, Buttons appears in Cinderella. And number 10, she went on to perform in Doctor Who, and she is Catherine Tate.
I'm a bothered.
Indeed, that was Lauren Cooper's line, I'm a bothered.
I'm a bothered.
So if you could again send your scores to Linda.
By the way, I didn't get the chance because I was not on mute, but my wife could go one better with Max Bygraves. She spilled a pint of a beer over him. So, yeah.
Where, Eddie? Where?
Yeah, Scarborough.
Scarborough. Oh dear. The things that people will do to get noticed.
Well, he was appearing in the theatre, and she was the waitress, and she accidentally she was 16 or 17 or something at the time. And apparently when the show was on and she had time off and she was actually sitting there, and he actually waved at her from the stage.
Yeah, he did have a reputation of being a very, very nice man. Okay, have you got all the scores?
I think so.
In that case, we'll move on to the traditional last line, general knowledge. Question 1. Which character in a cartoon series imagines himself to be the rival of Manfred von Richthofen? Which character in a cartoon series imagines himself to be the rival of Manfred von Richthofen? Number 2. Of which country was Antonio de Salazar the dictator between 1932 and 1968? Of which country was Antonio de Salazar the dictator between 1932 and 1968? Number 3, the international vehicle registration letters KSA indicate the vehicle is from which country? Number 3, the international vehicle registration letters KSA indicate the vehicle is from which country? Number 4, the woolly bear, which in North American folklore has the ability to predict the severity of the coming winter, is the name of the young of which creature? The woolly bear, which in North American folklore has the ability to predict the severity of the coming winter, is the name of the young of which creature? Number 5. How many times does the letter X appear on a clock face with Roman numerals? How many times does the letter X appear on a clock face with Roman numerals? Number 6. Which novel by the Canadian author Jan Martel became the basis of a film released in 2012, which won 4 Oscars? Which novel by the Canadian author Jan Martel became the basis of a film released in 2012, which won 4 Oscars? And number 7 is my quirky question for this month. I come across something when I'm researching it and I thought, I didn't know that. I don't know I desperately wanted to know that, but it's amusing. And so here's the question. Established in 1998, the website Where's George is used to track the circulation of what items? I'll give you the one clue. Think who George might be. Established in 1998, the website Where's George is used to track the circulation of what items? Number 8. The art movement Impressionism took its name from the title of a painting called Impression Soleil Levant, Impression Sunrise, by which French artist? The art movement Impressionism took its name from the title of a painting called Impression Soleil Levant, or Impression Sunrise, by which French artist? Number 9. What is the only Grand Slam tennis tournament played in the Southern Hemisphere? What is the only Grand Slam tennis tournament played in the Southern Hemisphere? And number 10, Mendoza province is the main wine producing region in which country? Mendoza province is the main wine producing region in which country? Again, I'll just show you the questions again. Share the scores before us. Okay, and once more, because it's coming up to the last round, I'll stop sharing and let Linda bring us up to date with what the scores are before the last round is marked. Very strong performance in round 5. A lot of 10s. Still, it looks as though unless something goes badly wrong in the last round, West of Eden will be this month's winners. Daggers and Kings Hill are close together, along with Guildford as the next 3, and Ayr only just behind that, and Dunelm only just behind that.
Don't jinx us, Ian.
Well, who knows? Wait and see what happens when we get the... can everyone confirm that their scores are accurate there? Yes? Okay. Let's get the last round marked then. Okay, the cartoon character who imagined himself to be the rival of Manfred von Richthofen was, of course, Snoopy in the Peanuts cartoons. Antonio de Salazar was the dictator of Portugal between 1932 and 1968. ASA indicates that the vehicle is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Number 4, the woolly bear is actually the caterpillar of the tiger moth. And apparently the prediction is based on the number of stripes showing on the caterpillar at the beginning of winter. Number 5, the letter X appears 4 times on the clock face with Roman numerals. IX for 9, X for 10, XI and XII for 11 and 12. Number 6, The Life of Pi became that film. 7, this website set up on a whim by some individual who was had nothing better to do, is used to track the circulation of American banknotes, the George being George Washington. And what they do is apparently they type into a website the serial number of the banknote, and it's established where that banknote is being spent, and the next person or another person at some point may type in the same one, in which case you know 2 places it's been spent, and so on. It's just down to whether the people who want to do this spend enough money.
Sounds like the guy needs a hobby.
I absolutely agree, but that's what it's done. And apparently there is one banknote that they've now managed to trace 17 different places that it's been spent. So there you go. Number 8, Impression Soleil Levant is by Claude Monet. Number 9, Australian Open is the only tennis championship in this, or Grand Slam championship played in the Southern Hemisphere. And Mendoza province is the main wine producing region in Argentina. Again, please send your scores to Linda.
Sorry, Ian, what was the score? What was the answer for number 5?
4.
4, you're saying, right? Okay.
4, F-O-U-R.
Right, okay.
There's IX for 9, X for 10, XI for 11, and XII for 12. So it appears 4 times. And once Linda has the scores in, then we'll share the final scores with you. But now feel free to unmute and chat if you wish.
I'll drop the call now.
Yeah. Okay.
You got that.
Oh,
Thank you once again, Linda and Ian, for a very enjoyable quiz.
I hope you did enjoy
Yes.
it. I try to mix things up a little bit, as usual.
Yeah, it's good selection tonight.
Different and it's very good.
We can say that because
because we've done quite well.
we've done quite well.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds as though West of Eden are quite confident.
I didn't want to miss it because even though I didn't have a team, I thought I just wanted to hear what you do. It's great.
It's enjoyable, yeah.
Even if we don't win, it's good fun.
Well, the whole point is to have fun. Somebody wins, that's a wee bonus for them, but I hope everyone can enjoy it. That's the whole idea.
Yes. It's a bit, the communication's a bit of a struggle at times on WhatsApp phone call. At one point, I was accidentally muted myself for a whole round and was shouting at them down the phone. And they weren't hearing me. I realised I must be when I touched it against my ear. I put the mute on. That's why they couldn't hear me.
Not as much as we were shouting at you, Kenny.
I could actually hear you. But unfortunately, it's quite hard with four in the conversation. It's
Indeed.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't WhatsApp. We did it on Facebook. We did a discussion, you know, a meeting each other discussion, but we found it too noisy. So we've ended up just a chat discussion.
Yeah.
which works
You
better.
need some instructions on how to have breakout rooms.
Yes, absolutely. Your quiz works much more like it used to be in pub quizzes. In fact, you can discuss together. It's got higher overhead, I think, in administration, but it's a better system, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I can teach him if he needs lessons on it, but I think we've chosen not to do it.
Yes, we have. We know exactly how to do it, but we've chosen not to do it. Right.
It actually changes the dynamic of the quiz completely.
Are we ready for the results?
I'm ready for them.
Yes.
And well, congratulations to West of Eden and to Kings Hill for coming second. Daggers third, and then joint fourth with 3 different teams.
A decisive win this month.
And
well done to you. I think the questions suited us at Kings Hill a bit better this evening.
Yeah.
Well, they obviously suited us as well.
Yeah.
I try to vary the themes every month so that there's something different that might attract different people every month.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm wondering if we're getting to know how Ian's mind works.
Maybe you are.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
That's dangerous. Worrying, Anne. However, once again, we've got most of the teams scoring more than 2/3 of the points, and that's really good. Everybody got comfortably over half marks. So that's very good. And a congratulations to Stuart for doing so well on his own.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it's very much harder when you're Todd.
Nobody to argue with.
Well, I was going to say it might be easier, really.
There is that advantage, to be fair, yes.
Yeah.
No one.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad I stuck my neck out, because most of my other members of the team thinking, no, it's not Snoopy, but I remember the cartoon Snoopy versus the Red Baron. It was a song.
It was a song, you're quite right.
Yeah, and I stuck my neck out. Instead, it's definitely Snoopy.
And well done, Anne.
I can see the in the cartoon with Snoopy sitting on top of the kennel with a leather hat on and a scarf streaming out behind him.
Yeah.
I promise I didn't Google.
We were coming up. We were coming up from Liverpool on Monday from a cruise, and we passed and were repassed 3 times by a van that's covered in Snoopy cartoons. It was amazing. Full cartoons on the side and the individual characters at the back, and Charlie Brown going, "Good grief." It was amazing to see this. Somebody taking a lot of trouble to paint their van.
Yes. Yeah, it's very easy. They now computer generate them in the vinyl and then just stick them on in the main.
Right.
Good. Well, thank you all very much for coming.
Okay,
I hope
thank
you're
you.
really
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
And we'll
Ian.
see you on the
Thank
27th of August, of July, rather, 27th of July.
24th.
Here's Leslie. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank
See
you. Good
Monday,
night.
hopefully. Same with you, Eddie. See you Monday in the pub.
Yeah, see you Monday.
I'll see you again. I've got another set of questions for you on Monday.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, good grief, yes.
Very different to this one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you, Ian and Linda.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you Tuesday, Linda.
Thank you.
Is that-
Bye-bye.
Is that a full-time job then, Ian, doing quiz questions?
Sorry, Bob?
Is it a full-time job doing quiz questions?
Very nearly.
Have you got the cryptic clue one?
I've got the cryptic. I do a monthly cryptic clue one as well, where I send it out to people by email.
Oh, I don't like those.
It's to raise. My hope is that I'm raising money for a charity.
Oh, right. That's
But
good.
I used to sell it locally in shops and things, but when COVID came along, that stopped being possible. So I've been sending it out by email and just saying, if you want to donate to the charity, here's how to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's good. Yeah.
But I've no idea how many people actually do.
All
No,
right.
that's true.
Out of trouble.
Keeps me out of trouble, yeah.
True.
So I spend,
Okay.
I would say I spend some time pretty nearly every day compiling quizzes one way or another.
Or doing them, or both.
Oh, well, definitely doing them as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got to do them
Okay,
to
then.
find the questions as well, haven't you?
Bye.
Well, if you do a lot of quizzes, it helps you, find the questions.
Well, Actually, I go into a quiz site called funtrivia.com. And when I'm making up a quiz, I do a number of quizzes myself on there just to see if I can get some ideas.
Yes.
I don't pinch the actual questions, but I look for ideas that I can use as questions.
Yeah, it could even be
And
just the style of the
especially in the
question.
general knowledge rounds.
Yeah. Okay, I'm off then. So
Right,
good
Good night,
night.
lockdown loonies.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bob.
I'm away for a lie down now. It really is exhausting that on the phone like that, trying to hear all three people and talk to them and listen to you as well.
But
it's
I don't want to change. I don't want to change to the other system, Kenny, because it breaks the communication I've got with the teams.
Although you don't have any communication for each round because it's all on mute.
Yeah, but it would mean basically I just introduce the rounds and say nothing after that.
Aye. I was just wondering if it would be possible for somebody to be in all the breakout rooms separately. Never thought of that until just now. I'm just wondering if that's even.
Well, I tell you what, you're the techie. You go and investigate it.
It'd be interesting. I have absolutely no idea because they only.
I think it's unlikely. That's the whole point of breakout rooms, I think.
Yes, but I can also see there'd be reasons to do it as well. If only.
Well, oh yeah, so can I. But if we did the breakout rooms, we'd probably have to go on to using Microsoft Forms or
it's Google Forms or
Google
Forms, whatever it is they use. Yeah, well, there is. Well, only as I say, if you could be heard in all the rooms, that would actually be great. That would work. You could still be reading out the questions. In other words.
Yeah.
But I shall get on to Zoom chat. I found they're absolutely fabulous at answering your questions and giving you solutions. And
it's just a thought, if one person, obviously, usually the host, could actually talk to all the breakout rooms simultaneously.
Well, if that's possible, I would certainly consider it.
I have no idea. I will probably try and look it up in the next wee while and just see if it looks like it's feasible. But as you say, normally it's not what you want. You want the breakout rooms to be separate. But I could see why there might be advantages in the host being able to talk to all the groups. Yeah. If all that he says, time up, pal. Rather than the timer.
Well, you can do that by typing. You type in that they've got, you can send messages, but you can't.
Yeah. No, just a thought. Yes, just while we were on. Right, I'm going for a cup of tea.
I shall see you on Monday when I have nearly finished.
So what technically is the time for Monday? Is it 7:30?
Well, that's what we said the last time because Douglas said he couldn't make it for 30:30, but we actually started at 15:15 because everybody else was there and then he never turned up anyway.
Okay, well, we're going to be there before 7 and we'll wait to see who comes up and we'll start when we're ready.
It's not like I'm going to get the bus because getting back's too difficult. So I'll have the car, so really I can arrive when I want. The bus would not get me there for about quarter 20 past 7.
Well, we'll be there by about 6 for our dinner.
All right.
And we'll have with us two of my grandchildren.
We might have a third one and all because I don't know what to do with Oscar either. Might get Daddy to come and pick him up.
That'll keep you occupied.
Yeah, I've got 2 teenage grandchildren coming down on Monday, so they're coming with us. And they will be allocated randomly to teams as well.
Absolutely. That's one of the, I think, the major advantages of the system is the random allocation. Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Yeah, totally enjoy it. And everybody else likes it too.
Well, yes, and for the sort of more timid sort of quizzers, it does give them
it gives them
more encouragement to come that they can discuss it with everybody else,
Absolutely. They're not committing themselves too much.
I mean, this is why maybe there's not so many turning up for the online ones. It's because we're all separate at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Apart from Donnell, we've managed to get 4 people in the one room as we just disappeared.
They're not the only ones that have done that. I've seen another team do that.
They've done that for a while now, Donnell.
Yes, in fact, I think they were doing that even during lockdown, but it was only maybe a couple. But at least they were together rather than on me Todd. Right.
Fair enough. I shall go back to watching Andy then.
All right. If he's not, is he still playing?
Yes, he is.
Oh, that's good.
He's taken it to the last point on the last 2 sets or whatever they're called.
I did see one rally where the guy volleyed it to the other side, and I just thought, in the olden days, Andy would have got that one, because that's one thing he did. He chased down every ball, and this time you could see he was too slow off the mark.
Yeah.
Before as we all are.
7 and 7-6 so far.
All right.
So they're in the fourth set.
All right. Right. Well, thank you again.
Hey, Kerry.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.